Louder with Crowder is brought to you in part by .com. You don't have to be a freeloader your whole life. The good news is that you can support this show and the fight by buying some really cool clothes. .com.
That's good.
Nice.
It's just what I need with my throat cancer.
Tasty.
I don't know if I have throat. I have something going around here. We actually have some interns who aren't in because of a throat thing. No COVID. I got a test. But ever since I did that thing, the Whitmer impression, remember, like, my throat. Yeah. So if there's an ear, nose, and throat doctor out there, I don't know if it's polyps.
It's a curse, man. She cursed you.
Well, I know. You know, I haven't spent any time with Catherine Zeta-Jones, so.
No, you don't have a Douglas.
Don't you love how Michael Douglas, when he got throat cancer, he immediately blamed it on performing, services on his wife. Okay. Like, way to throw her under the bus. And it wasn't even necessary.
Is this after he left his family for her? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she's like, I got HPV like crazy.
Still waiting on Zorro 4. Hey, really glad to be with you today. Sorry we're late. We had to put together something for you as it relates to January 6th and the Black Lives Matter riots. And because there's a different standard to which we're held with YouTube, we had to do a lot more blurring of everything that we show you is available on YouTube, not blurred, but, we have to do it because for the same reason that other people like Hunter Biden, they can, not that I want to.
No,
but he can repeatedly drop the N-bomb. And by the way, let me just clarify, we're going to be talking about Hunter Biden today. I don't think he's a racist. I don't think Joe Biden is a racist. I really don't. I don't think he should be canceled. I think he should be canceled because he's a serial pedophile.
I agree.
There's other grounds.
There's levels.
Yeah.
There's multiple levels here.
Yeah, doing your best NWA impression, intercourse with kids.
Yeah. A little bit lower down in the totem pole there.
So what are we talking about all that? Oh, by the way, it is your last opportunity to go to crowdershop.com and get your Father's Day merch. Can you see this?
Which one is the best? The Change My Mind or this
Best Dad Ever?
I like this one.
This Dad Fights Like Hell.
I got this one.
And for people who missed yesterday, we talked about our childhood fighting stories on Mug Club. Hey, Gerald A., how are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Throat cancer. How are you, Quarter Black Garrett?
Yeah. I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm ready to read some texts.
We need to make sure that you keep that hood pass because someone needs to read Hunter's texts.
That's true. That's true.
And Dave Landa, how are you, sir?
Ahoy. I'm good. I also have a touch of the throat cancer, so I think it might be allergy.
Oh,
it's passing around. Stay away from me.
I'm hoping that's all it
Thanks.
is.
It's allergies. Could
No,
be allergies.
mine are always like that, though. I always got a throat problem.
You're an allergy.
Yeah.
Dave, you are such a disease.
I like girls with diseases.
You're what the French call les incompetents. All right. So I have a lot to talk about. We are going to be comparing January, because obviously right now January 6th is in the media. Look, an insurrection means that people have to plan something together, coordinate, and execute. Yeah. I think we're getting a little loose with the terminology. I still think anyone who committed crimes like trespassing, if anyone actually did bring a weapon and use a deadly weapon, of course those charges should be brought. Yeah. We don't know that that's the case. No guns found. So we'll talk about that and compare it to the Black Lives Matter riots. I think we need to keep this in context about Hunter Biden. We'll be talking about him as well. Yep. But first, New York Times, I believe a writer, commentator, but she's on MSNBC, Mara Gray, said this is making the rounds. And I think it's a perfect sort of encapsulation of the fundamental difference of a worldview between conservatives and leftists. And people go, Tea Party says, yep. Yes. I want a really clear dividing line in permanent Sharpie. Yeah. Especially when she says something like this, that she was disturbed by dozens. And I want to be clear, when I first read this, I thought this is clickbait from conservatives.
Right.
Outrage porn. Surely she didn't say that she was disturbed by the American flag. No, she did.
I think as long as they see Americanness as the same as one with whiteness.
No, you do.
This is going to continue. We have to figure out how to get every American a place at the table in this democracy, but how to separate Americanness, America, from whiteness.
You're talking
until we can
at a table
on
a national newscast
and talk about that. This is really going to continue. I was on Long Island this weekend.
I like her sister Macy
a really
better.
Dear friend, and I was really disturbed. I saw dozens and dozens of pickup trucks with explicatives against Joe Biden, on the back of
White
them,
guy.
Trump flags, and some cases just dozens of American flags, which is also just disturbing because essentially the message was clear. It was, this is my country. This is not your country.
Okay. Now, a lot of people there is some, outrage. Oh, geez, I just went midget.
Hey, buddy.
Just went full lollipop. Can I say midget? Is that a violation of guidelines?
You're fine.
Let me talk
It's
about
good.
this really quickly.
He got you covered.
This shows the fundamental difference in worldview, where she said, this means this is my country. It's our country. It's not yours. That's what she sees when she sees an American flag. No. That's you copy-pasting your exclusive racism to other people.
Yeah.
People put up the American flag because they are saying, not this is my country. They're saying, I love this country. That's what that means. I love this country. And here's an irony, too, where I know what they'll say, right? They used to say, oh, defund the police. We love this country, but we need to improve it. Well, look, the veil is off.
Yeah.
You hate America. We understand this. And I've said this for a long time. We actually were doing a segment, but because it was a problem
That's right,
because of
yeah.
addresses, I said, if you see an
Been a little
American
while,
flag,
yeah.
if you see it at a house, they're conservative, they're Republican.
Yeah.
Highly likely.
Yes.
It is, but we just, it's tough to do at someone's home address. We're just go and
Yeah.
ask them. But I've been saying this for a long time. And what she is saying here, I know what they'll say. They'll say, oh, okay, we love this country, but it's systemically flawed. And, so we have problems with it. And you don't know what that's, because you're a white Republican and you have a seat at the table. Hold on a second. That's a self-defeating point. Do you see what she is implying here? Yeah, you're right. A lot of those flags, I will agree with your premise. Probably from Republicans. Maybe not all white, but let's assume, because this country is majority white, probably a lot of white Republicans. Under a Biden-Harris administration, that means that people who have no voice at the top level right now, at the national level, right? They have a president and former vice president and president
Yeah, there you go.
who are against everything they stand for, and they still say this is the greatest country in the world. You have everything you could possibly want. You've gotten the people in office who you want. And you're still offended by the flag. It's just like, it's such a great litmus test. I agree with you. Kind of like I agree with Democrats when they were saying, well, we can stop wearing the mask, but I don't want people to think I'm a Republican. Exactly. For the longest time, we were saying the masks are a political identifier.
Yep.
It's a point. And then you say, my mask is my political identifier.
Yeah.
Yes, we're saying the same thing. I have been saying for years, and we've known this for years. Patriotism, the American flag, is inherently a conservative value. It's inherently a conservative icon. And now you're saying the American flag is inherently conservative. Oh, right, just because you've been trying to make it a synonym for white supremacy. So, yeah, I love it when that veil gets lifted.
Exactly. How in the world do you consider the American flag to be a symbol of white supremacy? It's the flag that unites this country. It's the flag that people are killed overseas just for having on their sleeve. Right? Like, how in the world can you say that this person, and other prominent liberals chimed in and said, yes, certainly that person's probably, like an asshole is what they said. Sorry, I'm just quoting them. And I think racist or white supremacist. I'm like, how in the world? No, you are for posting this.
You're saying because hundreds of years ago there was slavery, therefore I hate this country. And then you have people going, you know what? Right now we have a horribly corrupt administration. We've shut down our economy. We've infringed on our basic constitutional rights, and we still believe that this country is worth saving. That is a different worldview, folks. And it's very clear by the implication there.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so much more likely that an American flag flies alongside a MAGA flag than, say, a rainbow flag? Look, if you have kids, let them leave. But I've always said this. If you see a rainbow flag, you almost never see an American flag on that car or on that house. You can't love this country and also suck dick? I don't understand that. I don't understand it.
You can.
But they just don't.
We'll
And
get
by
to
the
a
way,
clip of Barack Obama in a minute.
I hate to be the word police, but it's not explicative. It's expletive.
Sorry, Michelle.
And also, this is also the same woman who said that $500 million could give every person in this country $1 million
Yeah.
for the Michael Bloomberg campaign when he spent that. So I'm not holding her to a very high standard here.
Well, also that rainbow flag exists because of the freedom this country offers.
Yes.
And I think that needs to be said.
Fly it in Saudi Arabia. Let me know what happens.
Yeah, fly it next to if they had one, the Hamas embassy. Really, it's just a hut in a great school.
They're going to want to show you the top floor of the building and then a quick way down, okay?
Look,
That's not
fine.
us, that's them.
You guys let me know. The best thing you can do, look, comment. Have you always known, don't you kind of know, if you're at a grocery store, and you see someone with a flag pin, it's almost like they've drawn half the Christian fish under the
basically
under the era of Roman persecution, right?
Pretty close.
It's pretty close. We've always known this as conservatives, and they've always said, no, you don't have a monopoly on patriotism. We love this country. We just want to change everything it's about. All the things that made us unique, freedom, rugged individualism, not having a systemic socialism, not having a monarchy. But we want to change all of that. We want to have an elite system and centralized government. Okay, well then, at a certain point, you don't love this country. And that's fine. Yeah. Just say it when you're running. Look, Republicans, we don't have to lie when running for national office. You're right. MAGA, it offends you. Make America greatest country on earth. Right? If I have to hear another Rascal Flatts song, or I'm proud to be an American, that's why I don't go to CPAC anymore. It's a little too much. But they're genuine about it. When you run, you have an American flag, kinda, right? You kind of say you're pro-women and then say pregnant persons, but you have to hide it because you know that once you get into office, you have to admit that you hate everything this country is about. That is what this war is about right now, this figurative war for information. If you guys have never seen it this clearly. Also, hey, by the way, you can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
At Louder with Crowder.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm on TikTok. I do not manage that. I believe we have a communist Chinese representative.
Oh, that's good.
And it's a live show, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. That's the best way you can tune in. Either on Mug Club, YouTube, or Rumble, because notifications don't always work. Okay. So let's also. Oh, this is another one. Did you see this Kamala Harris clip with Lester Holt?
Oh boy.
Oh yes.
This was amazing.
Are you lying to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
You've asked me.
Yes,
You've asked me to read the show map, and I am pretending I did. No, I looked into the words.
Yes, Lester Holt.
Holt.
Still don't know. I don't know. Like, is he relative to Dan Bongino?
I don't know.
He could. The point is, he could fit in anywhere.
It's close.
Yeah.
You could use him to sell any kind of attire, and I'd buy it. Right? He's just generically ethnic enough so that you can use him, and he doesn't intimidate white people.
He morphs?
doesn't offend.
Yes, he's a racemorph.
Yeah, he's like one of those cars that are like a hypercolor shirt.
Right. Yes, exactly.
You look at him one angle, another
more
angle.
More of a reflective
You guys are
chrome.
terrible. Shut up.
So yesterday, in an interview with Lester Holt, Kamala Harris claimed that she went to the border.
Oh, come on.
And then I respect Lester Holt for this. Called her on it, and she's so here. It's not just about the fact that the sort of outrage porn you see from the right. Where they go, look, she's wrong. No, it's the fact that when you watch this, she is shocked that someone pushes back.
Oh yeah,
this is the story right now. People in this administration, Psaki, you look at Joe Biden, they are so surprised when someone pushes back. Like that old Kung Fu master, remember, he used to have the death touch if you watch this video, and he fights the basic Chinese MMA guy, and he start doing this, and the guy just punches him once, and he's like, I bleed!
Exactly.
It's a great video. We'll show it behind the paywall. We'll show it for Mug Club members afterwards. It's one of my favorite of all time. Let's watch this. Kamala Harris saying she went to the border, then immediately retracting.
Just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not.
You're a liar.
The importance of the border.
Well, I mentioned it because even I know Republicans have certainly come at you on this, but Democratic Congressman Cuellar has a border district has said to you and the president, come. You need to see this.
Listen, I care about what's happening at the border.
I don't.
Never been there.
I don't understand the point. Oh, well, let me clarify it for you. You're a lying liar who lies?
Yeah.
What you just? You remember,
that's
let me
what you
make
meant.
sure.
Okay.
I think. Hold on a second.
You guys ran on this stuff?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I think you're a little hazy, Kamala. You just said you've been to the border. Okay. Yeah. Follow with me. I'm saying you have not. Your floor. Well, I've not been to Europe, Botswana,
Iceland.
Still
on the list.
I'm pretty sure she's been to Europe, though.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
pretty
no,
sure
it's
she's
like
been to Europe.
Kamala, we don't share a border with Europe. We also don't have an immigration problem
Yeah,
from Europe. You're
that's
also
not the
not in charge
crisis.
of fixing the problem with our border with Europe. You are with Mexico.
Well, not
That's
really.
The point.
That's currently
She's
your
been
job.
put in charge by Joe Biden.
She's been put in charge.
It's more figurative.
I thought it was a figurehead position.
Right, figurehead, sorry, not figurative.
I had no idea I was supposed to do anything.
Like, go there?
I'm just waiting for my place in line.
Yes.
Any minute now.
Yeah.
Yes, hold on a second. I have to butter the West Wing stairs.
Yes. Oh, whoops-a-daisy, sir.
You see Joe Biden pause every time he goes up the stairs to Air Force One and like look at each step.
Just
and
double check.
she did it to me once. I'm not going to fall for it again.
She's slipping a 20 to his allergist and just opening bags of peanuts under his desk.
Just gets hit with a paint can on Air Force One. I'm up here, you big stupid horse's ass.
Hey, former Vice President Joe, you give up or you're thirsty for more? Joe's like, my gold tooth. I'm gonna kill her. My gold tooth.
I have a tarantula.
I got hit by a cicada.
Seriously. I seriously think she
Cicadas are
just
out.
thought, okay, I'll be a figurehead. I'll make she's basically running for office. That's really what she's doing. And so the safest, think about this. She's mirroring what Joe Biden did when he ran for office.
Oh, yeah.
He just hid out and did nothing. And so she's going, all right, 2024, that's my shot. If I hide out, bide my time, do nothing, I have a better chance of winning because if I do anything, people don't like me.
Yeah. She's doing nothing badly, though, because people don't like her, and she's still doing nothing.
Yeah,
it's not
just
working
keeps
well.
going down.
Pete
It's not
Buttigieg is
good.
like, hey, how about you go out there and do something?
Yeah.
We'll post it so that everyone can see it. Do something. America should see more of you, Kamala.
You're great. We need more.
Well, it was one of your main promises. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to fix the border. Who's going to be in charge of it? I don't know. I'm going to put her in charge. Well, is she ever going to go there? Well, I don't think so. Probably not.
She'll say she did. Oh,
Yeah.
good enough for me. All right.
It's a short flight.
It's not that far.
It's not that big of a
Literally,
deal.
you flew over the border to go to those countries you went to. You could have
Right.
stopped on the way back.
You could have just looked down and been like, well, I saw it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's just on her way to Guatemala. She's like, oh, hi, Mexico. Bye.
The
All right.
welcoming Guatemala.
So let's talk about this. This is something that I know you have to be really careful because I even think with like guidelines and stuff on YouTube,
yeah.
you have to. I don't even know if you can mention January 6th and not say that it was the worst insurrection in our time. So look,
Jeez.
let me be really clear about something here. Anyone who committed an actual crime on January 6th should be charged ultimately and convicted of that crime.
Absolutely.
Trespassing, obviously, misdemeanor. If there's actual assault in many cases is misdemeanor. I just believe that and if anyone actually brought a deadly weapon and used it, of course, should be charged with that crime. You know, I just want that same standard to be applied to January 6th and the Black Lives Matter riots.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm totally open to an investigation, January 6th. If you investigate Black Lives Matter and the source of the funding, because we're talking about way more Anyway, I'll get to those stats in a second. Yeah. But this is one of those things that I think everyone else has sort of tiptoed around, where you either have extremists who say nothing happened at all, and then you have people who say it was the worst insurrection, worst uprising, most violent event of our time. I don't think either of those are true.
Right.
Yeah.
But sort of like we've talked about the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, look, the standard that you have to use is how does it compare to other vaccines, not how does it compare to COVID, right? That's the standard when people are making these, or they're discussing the issue in the medical community, because there's a standard, right? You sort of have to have, okay, this is a standard bearer right here.
Yeah.
That's sort of our starting point. And I think that's what we need to do here with the January 6th incidents. Can anyone else agree that that's a fair approach? I'm trying to be as fair-minded as I can, but still, if you watch media, CNN, and they're just hysterically covering January 6th.
Some Republican lawmakers are following Trump's example, trying to rewrite what happened on January 6th. For instance, by calling the attackers, quote, peaceful patriots.
This morning, we are getting our first look at a new Senate report highlighting the significant security issues that unfolded before and during the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
You know, as an American, I went there to advocate for this commission,
for neck tats,
which I believe is necessary, really, to get to the root causes of January 6th.
Donald Trump's role in the riot. In fact, Senate Democrats even avoided using the word insurrection to describe the insurrection.
Okay, really quickly, look at this right now on CNN. This just happens to be going on live.
Right now.
Right now. Lawyer, rioter says, rioter argues he felt threatened by hero officer. Jensen's initial attraction to QAnon. So they're trying to associate it with QAnon. Look,
of course.
Let me be really clear. I'm sure there were some people there, of course, who were if you look, QAnon is idiotic to me. It was so proven verifiably false, okay?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with people who voted for Donald Trump and the hundreds of thousands of people who were there who were peaceful patriots. And certainly the people who Donald Trump identified as his supporters, saying, peacefully make your voices heard. So, and by the way, really quickly, if you have kids watching right now, I would advise you to probably have them leave the room, because we are going to show side by side the absolute worst footage from the January 6th riots, the worst possible footage, side by side with the Black Lives Matter riots and the Antifa riots. So I just want to warn you, it's not that we're trying to, but I don't think it's age appropriate. Not a trigger warning. Right. I just don't want 9-year-olds watching it because it disturbed me.
Absolutely.
They wanted a 9/11 style commission to investigate the January 6th riots. Republicans filibustered it.
Yeah.
So what they want to do it with a filibuster.
Yeah. All of a sudden,
for all of the things.
They were huge fans when 50-something%, I think it was 48% of them used it to block civil rights. Now it's like, wait a second. You want to block a bias commission? Again, I think that you could have a deal. If we talk about bipartisan, guarantee you Republicans would sign on to it if you say also same commission to Black Lives Matter and to the rights. It's a deal I'd take tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yep. And why do you think they're doing this, Stephen? There are multiple investigations that are ongoing right now. In fact, the report that they're citing was an investigation into what happened on January 6th.
Does anyone know the name of the officer the only person who killed anybody, Ashley Babbitt?
No.
Nope.
And by the way, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that was, we don't even know if that was a bad shot.
I just want to know, I want an investigation to happen to tell us, here's why it happened.
Right.
Like every other shooting that we've had to cover over the last 2 years.
Who shot who? I mean, do you really need a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar, trillion-dollar rounding error at this point to find out, one person shot somebody? Who? Because we have these reports. We have these investigations. It was like with Brett Kavanaugh. We just did an investigation. Well, we need
another one.
We need it to take longer.
You've done several.
I mean, we have her saying it happened, so let's do this.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Otherwise, like, they don't call it an insurrection, even though it was an insurrection. I'm like, no, you just can't define it yourself.
We're calling it an insurrection now.
You didn't call it a riot all summer either.
No.
Yeah, you called it
mostly peaceful, while someone's Grand Marquis was on fire behind you.
You said teenagers were mostly peaceful protests.
And I don't like Grand Marquis
Don Lemon
either.
said, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
So, look, let me give you some quick snapshots here before we show the video footage, because I really think this is something that I wish was out there, and it's not. Again, send your kids away. Riots, $2 billion in property damage. That was, by the way, just up until June 2020. Okay? $2 billion.
All of them.
You can't find those numbers anymore.
Really?
There's no updated number. If I were to guess, probably $4 billion.
Yeah.
Because it's just a June 2020.
At least double.
The summer of love
at least
was only
double, and
just
that was a
getting
low
started.
estimate when we're just talking about insurance claims and actually talking about what government can observe. Again, all of our sources are available at louderwithcrowder.com. The capital damage was $1.5 million. That's the newest estimate.
Wow.
Down from the original estimate of $30 million. Just to keep clear, with the Black Lives Matter, right, the estimate went maybe $500 million, $1 billion, $2 billion, and they stopped.
And then
It stopped.
And now with the Capitol riot, it goes 30 million, 20, 1.5, and then stops. Just look at the trends. Again, we have to compare the two of these to be fair. I have a number here, actually. So the Black Lives Matter riots cost, in June 2020, 1,333% more.
So that's a lot more.
Is it
you could
more?
say more.
Black Lives Matter, over 1,000 officer casualties. They're saying casualties includes severe injury and death. Capitol, only one person was killed, Ashley Babbitt, by an officer. We don't know about him. I'm not even saying it was an unjustified shooting. I don't know. Right. Other 4 who died, including Sicknick, who we were told was beaten in the head with a fire. Well, that's not true.
Right.
Died of natural causes.
Epstein didn't hang himself.
Yes, and Epstein did not hang himself.
Can we say that on here?
That's what I heard.
We can. Yeah.
I don't know what we can, but if look, the footage will just go out for 12 minutes and 42 seconds.
That's true.
Wonderful standard.
That was a mostly peaceful response.
Nothing on Hunter Biden on CNN.
Of course
Oh,
not.
nothing. Never.
Don't you remember when they found the computer? There wasn't any coverage either.
Yeah.
It's like,
Media
so what?
blackout,
Look,
so.
you guy has sex with kids. You know what? You say illegal, I say fun time with a niece.
Yikes.
Jeez.
So, and here's something you'll also
in the
never
family.
see. Okay, Black Lives. Before we get to the what you see, the destruction, and there was destruction on January 6th.
Yes.
Not anywhere near 1,333% less as of June 20th. But
Well, the people that got in were ants at a picnic, and I'll say.
right, yes. Here's something, but it is important to note. Most of the people were let in willingly. A lot of people don't know this because they'll never show you this. Now, This is, in other words, it's more so the equivalent to people who break through the gates at at a Led Zeppelin concert, at a Van Halen reunion, right? Because they're trying to get front seats. They're allowed in that venue, but so they were allowed in the venue of the Capitol. We need to be clear about that. Doesn't mean that once they're in there, they didn't then, of course, break the law.
Right.
But that's very different from, remember, anyone who lives in a city? Remember all the doors were barricaded? Wood panels over every single window? Very, very different from that. And all right, come on in. Just, don't get too rambunctious. So let me show you this as a matter of fact, just as a perfect example. You'll watch this clip. Even the QAnon shaman says, let's keep it peaceful. And you see a Capitol officer, I believe black,
yes,
say, hey, I don't agree with you, but I respect your right to do it. As they walk right past.
Wow.
Let me know if you've ever seen this before. Roll clip.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go.
As they're being waved on.
And they just breached the Capitol again. ACAF, 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 ACAF.
Here's where the guy says it. Watch.
You can disagree with it, but respect it.
Respect it.
The insurrection had door guys and a metal detector.
They got
ushers.
And cooperate peacefully, like our First Amendment allows. Gather more Americans under the condition that they will come and gather peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country.
Show us no attacking, no assault, remain calm.
We're not going to assault. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful.
This has to be peaceful. We have the right to peacefully assemble.
Now, is that just the guy's voice, or is he permanently doing a Grover voice in character?
Yeah. It definitely is. It's a little bit of what was the trash can guy? Oscar.
A little bit of Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar.
We have to peaceably assemble. It's almost like what's it? I just forget. Bruce Wayne ordering coffee. Like, I would like a soy. Sorry, like a soy latte.
Oops. I don't have the mask on.
It's in the eyes. So I just say that
it's all that guy's fault. Let's be honest.
It's all that.
If that guy didn't show up with his dumb horns, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
That's the least surprising thing about him is his voice.
And my point is, you can say that someone who is there, who is invited in willingly by the Capitol officers, saying, everyone, we need to make our voices peacefully heard. Do you really think it's white supremacy to call that person a peaceful patriot?
Yeah.
That was basically a guided tour by a Seth Rogen lookalike.
Yeah, and then one of the people in politics said, I can't remember the guy's name, but he said it looks like more like a tour. He was pointing to that kind of video.
Right.
And we'll show you video of other stuff that was going on.
So I want to be clear. So now this is the footage that I want to show you, because this is something that the media will not show you. Footage side by side here of the worst possible footage we can find from January 6th. This actually came from the House impeachment managers, just to be clear. I wanted to find the absolutely most severe footage of January 6th so you can see the worst of it and juxtapose that with just some footage from the riots that took place over the last year, because we couldn't fit it all in. And I just want you, and genuinely, the best thing you can, comment below. Look, people have blind spots. If I have a blind spot and we think that these are actually comparable and that the January 6th riots deserve 10 times the air coverage, some people have had estimates as high as 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of these riots. Let me know. Kids, leave the room. Here you go. January 6th, Summer of Love.
OG, come on, stay with me, OG. OG.
Zone. There's been yet another shooting early this morning.
Top security shot at those people in the Jeep after they ran into the barricades here.
So there's another group they're meeting with there, and then they'll be moving in a few minutes, so be ready.
Take the clip out and put it back in.
No one's gonna like ask me walking here.
Thank you.
OG, come on, stay with me, OG. OG, stay with me. Stay with me, OG. Stay with me, OG. Come on, OG. Come on, OG.
For those of you who don't remember, that was Officer David Dorn, black man.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying all off. Sorry, I have to have a lozenge in my throat here right now. Michael Douglas. I'm not saying that all officers are heroes, but certainly an off-duty one who showed up to help his community and stop someone else from being robbed. That was Officer David Dorn. For people who don't remember, because we have such short memories, that was a long-time police officer in Missouri, black man, his entire life, who created and ran programs to help underprivileged youth. And he showed up that night because a friend called whose shop was being torn down. I don't remember if it was being burned down and looted.
Looted, yeah.
And he was shot dead in the street. And there's a lot of that. There are a lot of deaths at the rallies over the summer.
Yeah.
And they're undercounted, but you're still looking at dozens. All sources available at loudercrowd.com. So, just one thing. Haven't seen it anywhere else. Yeah. You guys let me know. Hey, if I've got a blind spot, if January 6th is because statistically it's not.
No.
But if you feel it's worse in spirit, great. Okay.
Well, and you're not excusing the people that acted up at the insurrection.
No, we're condemning them. In fact.
Exactly.
If there's
We're
any ambiguity about our statements, if you broke the law on January 6th, you should be arrested, you should be tried, and if you were guilty, you should be convicted. Sorry.
And if you were committing arson and serious felonies over the course of this entire year, adding to the, $2 billion in damages just by June 2020, likely $4 billion now, you should also be arrested and not catch and release.
Yeah, and we were begging people over the summer. We were begging our leaders and politicians in these communities to say, hey, guys, stop what you're doing. Begging you. And you wouldn't even acknowledge that this was going on. You wouldn't even acknowledge that there were officers. That one in Chicago where the lady is being dragged by her hair into the mob to be beaten mercilessly, and the cops around him are trying to grab her.
Yeah.
It's bone chilling. And we were saying, guys, you've got to say something to stop him. What did Maxine Waters and Kamala Harris and everybody else do?
Well, she was gone on her ayahuasca trip.
They
encouraged it. They said, of course they're going to be in the streets.
Going to get louder.
Kamala Harris, she said, this is the new normal.
Yeah.
It's going to continue, and it should continue. By the way, that's the same lady who just said that she had been to the border.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
She flew over it.
Yeah, she
same
flew over.
liar.
Is it not the same?
And she just said, it's good to not be flying Spirit. So, all right.
Should have to fly Spirit.
She looks like a stewardess on Spirit.
Yes.
Doesn't she?
Yeah, where the answer is always no. Before you're like, hey, could I get it?
No.
Angry.
Could I just get a water? You could get water my ass. Okay, I'll just have nothing.
Okay.
So, let's go to Hunter Biden now. Yeah, sorry, I know we have to change tone, but I wanted
Yes, it's quite a shift.
Yeah, I know, but look, it's important to do. Hunter Biden, and this is like...
It is important.
It shouldn't be should it be a national story? Not necessarily. The story here is that nobody cares on the left, whereas remember there were rumors once upon a time that maybe Donald Trump had said the N-word in one of the Apprentice outtakes.
Right, yeah.
That may be the reason that Bezos tried to get the rights to the rushes, to the footage.
Yeah.
So this is why it matters, because there are rules for thee and not for me. To be clear, I do not think that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden, do we all agree? I don't think either of them are racists.
I think they've accidentally...
you have.
Yes. Well, it depends. If you're one of Hunter Biden's kids, it could be a flipper.
Yeah, it's true. You don't want to be limb different.
But we brushed that one under the rug, don't we?
Yeah, well, we brushed them all under the rug.
Hey, where is Hunter Biden? The kids, are they from strippers or a family member? Flipper, family member. Okay, well, that's how.
There it is.
That's the tell.
There it is.
All right, Angela, do we have a couple of... Yeah, let's read a couple of chats before we move on here.
Steve Alden wants to know, question, Crowder, how do you think that satire has helped your critical thinking?
Ooh, you know what? That's an interesting question. I think Dave will have some thought on this. There's also an important differentiation between satire and parody. A lot of people think they're not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
Parody is a direct parody, for example, like Weird Owl, just be
Airplane.
Just eat it. Yeah, where you're doing a direct parody of a specific...
We're back on.
Oh, we're back
up on YouTube. Now, is it the same stream or is it a whole new stream?
It's the same stream.
Okay, it's the same stream. All right. Well, you know what? We'll get to that question later. Hello, YouTube.
Hey.
Hello, YouTube. Sorry about that. The technical issues that seem to occur almost exclusively with us.
You never got me down, YouTube.
And by the way, yes, you are correct. People who are wondering, where is yesterday's stream? It is not on YouTube.
We're probably going to need to see that picture again just to make sure.
Yeah, I'll have to pull it up just to confirm.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Wait, which picture?
Well, of him.
Of his dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or his dad.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
I'm just helping you, sir.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you looking out.
All
right. So Quarter Black is going to... When did we go out? Did I already set up the story before?
I think we might have to set it up again.
All right, okay.
Just in case.
Marley was dead to begin with.
Really?
Hunter Biden, N-word, white lawyer.
He said it.
No one in the media cares. I don't know how to pronounce the lawyer's name, quite literally, because I haven't seen the story covered anywhere. So I've only read it. I'm going to go with Mysteries. I'm going to go with the Al Sharpton G.O.J. Mysteries. Is a lowly, boring figure. So, Hunter Biden repeatedly said the N-word. Don't care. I don't think that he said it in a... I shouldn't say I don't care. I don't think that this doesn't make him hateful toward black people.
I think he's classist.
Yes,
right,
I think
Dave.
he's classist. There you go, Dave.
That's it.
Pedophile feet, having sex with his niece, flipper grandkids. Okay, good. Go. You can go to Mug Club if you want to see more of it.
There you go.
So the text, which we cannot read, but Quarter Black Garrett can read. Quarter Black Garrett will read the text from Hunter Biden to his lawyer. Show him a picture in case this was missed.
This is my dad
of your dad to prove the
melanated for
ethnicity.
Sure.
You got a little ethnicity in you. Yep. He got some college grants.
Yep. I got that. All right.
All right.
Let me put this.
These are the texts, and Dave will be playing the role of lawyer, I guess.
There you go.
Do we want some music or?
Kick it.
Yeah.
There you go.
A little lower.
Just to confirm, this is Hunter Biden's text.
Yes, just to confirm.
Yeah.
This is Hunter Biden's texts.
Yes.
We would never say this.
More than likely,
except for when doing story prep.
Right.
Yeah.
So have ever something
that's purely for educational
When
purposes.
repeating Hunter Biden, I just want to be really clear because I wouldn't want to offend any. I wouldn't
because it's very.
I don't want
this first word.
We don't want you to. I don't want you guys to think that because I wouldn't.
That wouldn't be you.
Okay.
It's a guy who is freebase cheese.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
And he's a cracker. He's a crackhead. And he said this.
Yeah, that was him. Okay, here we go. First one. Nigga, you better not be charging me Hennessy rates.
Oh, I didn't know
that's,
when we were
that's
on.
Racist.
No, these are the actual text.
That's the actual text. That's the.
You can look on the map right there.
That's the first one.
We'll get to the.
Oh, you know, I'll read the other ones then.
That's not. I didn't get those ones.
Okay. Do you have the actual? Do you have the full text here?
I've got the full text here.
Do you have the lawyer responding?
I've got the lawyer responding.
All right, read all of it then.
Okay. OMG, nigga. Did you just fictional? These are crack infused. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just fictional character from the imagination of the collective frightened, and my dead brother's unconditional love is what I should rely on, and my kids aren't children, George.
The most offensive part of
him.
this is the sentence structure, and that someone unknowingly would read this and assume that it's a black person writing it.
And it's definitely not.
It's a white person perpetuating a negative stereotype. You'd see it. You'd say, "Oh, they said the N-word. Of course, they're black. This is horrible. We need better educational systems in inner cities." No, it's a white guy who's smoking Parm or a soft Gouda.
This next one's not too bad.
That's what's funny though. He's trying to act like he's sober.
Right.
He's like, it's unconditional love. I found God. Like, I don't think you have.
Yeah.
Next one's not too bad. He just says true dat.
Yeah.
And he also says nigga. So true dat nigga at the end.
Yep.
That's Hunter.
This is all Hunter Biden.
I know this lawyer's like $800 an hour, and it's still not worth it.
Go to the next one here.
It says there is zero from Hunter's lawyer. There is zero coverage or pickup of this story. Zip, I believe, talking about the laptop.
Yeah. To which Hunter replied, "Wow, thank you, Michael Cohen."
And then
other text here.
Other text I've read. I'm sorry for sexing you accidentally. That was meant for another friend named Georgia.
He also says, "My penis of late has been unconditional." Whatever that means.
And then
it's a big penis, George. I only love you because you're black.
Yeah, which is, look, well, I guess that's sort of reverse racism.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's love, right?
Yeah, it's love.
So we can give them the benefit.
It's love. It throws you off with the repeated use of the N-word, I guess. But hey, you know what they say with this, obviously. I want to be clear. It's not his fault. Like father, like son.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since we went back to YouTube, did we lose clips?
We should focus
There it is.
on
All right.
them now.
Ditch that fade.
Not out of a liberal instinct for love, brother, and humanity, although I think that's a good instinct, but for simple, pragmatic reasons. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now.
My son is Attorney General a year in Iraq, came back, and that's one of the things that he finds was most in need. When he was over there in Iraq for a year, people would come to him and talk about what was happening to them at home in terms of foreclosures, in terms of bad loans that were being, these Shylocks who took advantage of these.
In its racist context. In its anti-Semitic context.
It's the only other time I've heard of besides Edward Norton.
Do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
What?
Bro. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking. You got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and nice looking guy.
I'm just so mad. Is incorrect. Uncle Phil. Guy? Uncle Phil, bitch.
Right? He's not the first.
Yeah, come on.
By far. By far.
I love how he follows it up. I'm not joking. And I'm like, oh, you can't use that as a story now.
Yeah.
we were going to say you were joking.
We're going to say you were joking.
No, literally, I'm not
It's
joking.
like when Robert Byrd said the N-word 2 times, and he was saying, you got a lot of white N-words. I've seen white N-words in my day to insult them.
Yeah.
And then his correction was like, I'm sorry, I used language that, I understand is offensive to some and no longer appropriate. Well, it's offensive because you designed it as an offensive term.
Right, exactly.
Because you're denigrating black people and saying some white people are so lowly as black people. Like, where does that come from? I'm like, no, I'm not attributing motive there. You filibustered the Civil Rights Act for like 14 hours. And you're still sticking a landing with the N-word. The point is, like father, like son, Joe Biden, take him at his word. He's not joking. I still don't think that they should be canceled for racism as much as the pedophilia.
Yeah.
Well, that seems fair.
That's a tier.
Yeah.
A little higher than
And there are other, we have actually obtained some exclusive texts here.
Really?
Yeah, from Hunter. So I believe you have them here.
I do. Want me to help you with this one?
Yeah, and Quarterback Garrett, of course, again, show your father.
Just make sure.
just give me 1 second here.
Yeah, just for people who don't know.
I'm going to get it back out here.
Yeah.
Banner.
He's right here.
You know,
That's my dad.
Get that banner there because we do have exclusive text, and it's just we got to make sure that we're covered so it doesn't get taken out of context. So Quarter Black reads other Hunter Biden texts that we have the exclusive on these.
Yes, here we go. Let me bring it up. I don't know if you can see them because they're going to be covered here.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Hunter Biden says,
what up, my nigga? Where you at?
And the response says expected arrival time 15 minutes.
I need that shit, homie. I'm feeling sick.
Expected arrival time 14 minutes.
Can't you speed, nigga?
And it says your DoorDash has been canceled.
Yo, he's hungry though. I mean,
these are tough.
If you're hungry,
it's almost like it's his MO.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And you can't expect that.
You two, I guess, can do this next one. Again, we have these exclusive. All our sources are available at loudercutter.com.
Yeah, I'll give this one.
So this is Hunter, Quarter Black.
Hunter, let me go to the next one here. Nigga, I have a fever and the chill. Is it COVID?
Honey, I've told you a million times, I'm not a real doctor.
Oh, well.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
That's another bender.
Oops. It's true, because she's not.
And then this one, this one is actually pretty rough. I guess it says here it was to Kamala, and he just said, yo, I just smoked one of your cookies, and this shit is flame emoji, flame emoji, flame emoji.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So it just seems that one's more tone deaf.
It really,
than outwardly racist.
He really shouldn't just smoke everything that's handed to him.
No, that's not a good idea.
It's hard to tell though with the crack.
Right.
Yeah, it's
He's
true.
Just trying.
Poor guy's running out of carpeting.
He's like Pookie in New Jack. It's like you gotta have gotta do something else with your time.
And this is another one we have an exclusive here, number 4 here, Quarter Black Garrett. This is that he was texted first, right? The text came to him.
Oh.
And it said save 10%. Come to Chili's with discount code 7899 today, tonight only.
You better not be charging me that Hennessy rates, nigga.
And then Chili's responded, "Dear God, is this Joe Biden's son Hunter?"
Oh,
so I don't know how that works with an auto.
They knew. It must be like a he does it a lot.
Well, yeah, but he's known at Chili's. There's like a dozen from Sunglass Hut.
He's known at Chili's, though.
Yes,
he's inappropriate with the waiters.
He's a regular at Chili's.
And this next, I guess this is the last one, right? This last one was
the last one. Yeah.
Perhaps the smoking gun. He was texting his father too.
The big man. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he texted his father.
Hey, Dad, where are you at? Keep you the what?
Where do you keep the spare key? And then former Vice President Biden said, "Who dis?"
It's me, Dad. I need a key.
And then former Vice President said, "To fix the pool pump."
Damn, Dad, you got all old as hell. I can't read, man.
It's me.
That banner doesn't help you. It's me, yo. And then that just says, "Oh, hey, Hunter."
I got a very small screen.
So it seems like everyone kind of identifies him. You don't know it's him
because of the way he
unless
speaks.
he's racist. If he walked into a room and spoke normally, they'd be like, I don't know if he'd be like, no, it's me, Hunter, N-word. Like, oh, there you are, Hunter.
It's like if the Wet Bandits had just spray painted that word on the wall of every house they robbed.
Right.
That's their calling card.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's been no coverage of this. Of course, you can get rid of that banner since I'm not you.
Are you sure, though?
Remember how, here's the thing. Remember, can you just imagine, and I don't just want to do whataboutism, but the treatment from the media. If someone happened to get my phone and this is what I was texting for no reason.
You know what? Don Jr.?
Yeah, or if it was Don Jr.
You kidding?
Well, because they were going after Don Jr. for, remember, Trevor Noah tweeted, a racist cookie. Don Jr. is now lecturing us about racist cookies. June 29th, Bernie Sanders tweeted, Donald Trump Jr. is a racist too. Shocker. Jake Tapper blatantly called Donald Jr. blatantly racist, right? Okay, well, where's the coverage here of the guy who used the N-word in its racist context, who, by the way, comes from the lineage of a man who uses racial pejoratives in their racist context.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Do me a favor. Just prove to me that you're a journalist without any bias, like you claim on every show, right? Just report on this. It's news, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be newsworthy. Somebody's talking about it. Why don't you cover it?
At least people are being honest with this, where they're going like now you have liberals going like you've never texted something like that with your friends, joking about hip hop. It's like, aha, exactly. That's what we've been saying this whole time.
You've come full circle.
You've come
That's
full
how I
circle.
text everyone.
Yeah.
What?
It's when people say it doesn't matter. No, this matters because it's controlling of language.
Yeah.
It's controlling of speech. It's barring one half of the country from speaking, from having a voice at the table, whether it's doctors about COVID, whether it's economists about lockdowns, whether it's professors about racial theory, whether it's professors like Jordan Peterson against language laws, whether it's speaking out against Black Lives Matter, against the World Health Organization. The point is, this is all about controlling what you can and can't say. And so when you have people, of course, accuse Donald Trump Jr. of being racist, and by the way, they love to bring up the fact that he does coke. The guy was an alcoholic, has been very open about it, and he's been sober for years. Yeah. That's always a funny thing, how the left wants to talk about mental health and how we need to be more open about it. We have a mental health issue in this country, and they're so quick to weaponize it. Sort of like the gay thing, right? Homosexuality. They're so good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, oh yeah, secretly, he smokes a cigar. Secretly, you want to puff a Peter? Well, look, how is that an insult? There's nothing wrong with being gay. That means, if nothing else, that you think I have a slightly better fashion sense than I thought.
Yes.
They weaponize sexuality, and they immediately, this is what they do. They weaponize addiction, mental health, when they can use it. That's why you have a sexuality issue. That's why you have a mental health issue.
Well, and they tried to paint Donald Trump and Trump Jr. as racist and said, see, here is the evidence.
Yeah.
If you use these terms, you are a racist. And they did it just to try to paint him that way so that they could get him out of office. And now when the shoe's on the other foot, they're like, well, no, it's totally fine that Joe Biden.
But to be fair, with Hunter Biden, his shoes are always on the other foot.
Well, it's true.
Two left!
Yeah.
Sometimes it's his niece's shoes.
Well.
They barely fit.
I told her to get bigger feet.
I can't wait till them's a big.
I like him. I like small feet.
Well, then she would have.
That's what he likes. He likes
Hunter.
small feet. He's into the. He's into. He has texts about. Don't even get me started on the Chinese foot binding.
No,
that's a whole other thing.
Not even.
It's bananas.
It is absolutely bonkers.
Well, alcoholism has always been something that people have, usually to cover another mental illness, whatever that is, depression, whatever it may be. So the fact that they would mock him. Well, no, I meant No,
he's trying to drink those thoughts away.
I was more talking about the Trump guy. I'm not defending Biden.
Okay, never mind. Because he's still currently doing that.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference between a guy going, everything I saw, I just smoked Parmesan cheese, right? Right, lady interviewing me? You've smoked cheese off your carpet.
The carpet.
Right. And a guy who's like, when I used to drink, I used to have too much.
Yeah. That's what it was.
So
it's I decided to change my life and be better.
Yeah. Hey, you did a lot of drugs.
Tons.
Did you ever consider smoking cheese or any other perhaps snack foods?
I did smoke a Ritz cracker. Now hear me out.
I did hear the story.
I did not know it was a Ritz cracker.
Okay.
I was very, very drunk, and my friend John was upset at me over something. So he's like, "Hey, I gave you Hershey's on this bong," and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I hit it, and this beautiful white cloud filled the bong. And then when I cleared the chamber, it was the most pain I've ever felt in my throat. And it turned out that it was he had stuffed a Ritz cracker in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
you didn't seek out a Ritz cracker?
No.
For a tasting, as it were.
But it all worked out because his life is really bad now.
Yeah. So is this the same friend you hit in the face with a frozen sausage thinking it was soft?
No, this is a different guy.
Oh, okay, different guy.
Right.
No, but he was mad at me about something, but it was pretty funny. I chased him around and then I fell because I was drunk.
Yeah.
Well,
I slipped.
That was foreseeable.
I don't think that Reese's peanut butter cups foresaw Hunter Biden when they came up with their slogan. There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. No.
Wait. Eat. We said eat.
Hold up. And this also, when they're the point about this, right, is when it's selective coverage, when it's not. Again, the rule is not do we have rule of law or do we have rules? It's are they applied equally? That's when you're in a free society. So now we go north of the border to Canada to talk about something that many people don't realize you only enjoy in the United States, the First Amendment protection of freedom of speech. So Canadian, I don't know if this was this Monday, I believe it was, Canadian Liberals voted to limit debate on their this bill, C-10. It's an online censorship bill, just to be clear.
Wow.
So this is important because there's a different tie in here. A lot of the times you'll get people saying, well, you know what, the First Amendment doesn't guarantee you the right to say whatever you want online, just guarantees the right, in the town square. Well, hold on a second. If people are public, if these sites are public platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and they enjoy these legal protections and financial benefits, then we are talking about, look, if you're not free to discuss issues online in the digital public square, that's a problem. Especially now when you see that there are governments, we've seen it with China, and now we see it with Canada, where the governments have regulatory control over online speech. That's why you need states to start passing some laws, because other governments in the world, they've already taken it. There's going to be a step in one direction or the other. Does the government tell you what you can and can't say online? Still think it's not a First Amendment issue? Or does the government tell these huge platforms that they cannot dictate which opinions are permissible online? There really is no in between. This is a black or white issue. So conservatives, the New Democratic Party and the Green Party opposed the motion because of an amendment in the bill that gives the Canadian Radio, Television, Communications Commission regulatory authority over social media posts.
Yeah.
To be clear, when people talk about government, as a Canadian, when people talk about government media, I'm not just talking about PBS. People talk about government media like in Venezuela. You just go to Canada. You just go to Canada. In the last election, I believe, with Trudeau, I believe there was a member, I think it was the NDP, I can't remember exactly, but I know that someone promised the CBC $100 million in national funding, and then I believe it was Trudeau promised $150 million. Guess who won? And guess who got the most positive coverage? When people say the corporate media, look, I understand, believe me. Watch right now on CNN, okay? Oh, right, they're still talking about January 6th, like we just talked about. Right now on CNN, they have a point of view. There's and of course, it's tired. And I would say the same thing about Fox News. I don't tune in, but the good thing is, at least there's CNN and Fox News.
Exactly.
And there is an imbalance of power. ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN. And then on cable, only Fox News. And now online, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Apple, Amazon. And they want to make sure that all conservative voices aren't allowed. So it's not perfect. That's why we just need rules and regulations that ensure that people are abiding by them. And in this case, it's about government reining in censorship coming from companies. Because elsewhere in the world, governments are forcing companies to censor. And guess what? That affects what you say on these platforms in the United States. Because that can't reach people in countries like China, in places like the UK, Canada. Yeah. This is a very clear example. You can throw a baseball, for those of you who live in upstate New York, and hit where I grew up.
Yeah. Well, and just so you know, like this is done under the guise of making big tech corporations kind of pay their fair share there and promote Canadian content. So they're like, oh, that sounds good, right? Like, oh yeah, like support our content. Oh, well, there's these other things over here that can limit your speech.
And so, of course, professional blackface in Chief Trudeau, I believe it was 19 times.
Connoisseur.
Not just blackface, black arms, black legs.
The whole thing.
Everything.
Oh, no, L. Jolson didn't wear as much blackface.
If you had a DeLorean and could bring the actual minstrel shows to Trudeau's high school talent show, they'd go, oh, that's severe.
This is a bit much.
This is a bit much. We were just having a goof. So then this last month, Trudeau responded to conservative critics by accusing them, this is what happens, right?
Yeah.
You guess, tinfoil hat crazies, when conservatives said, no, the government shouldn't be able to tell people what they're allowed to say and not say online.
Mm-hmm. Will the Prime Minister tell us how long it will be before every aspect of Canadian life must conform to his liberal vision of Canadian society?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The tinfoil hats on the other side of the aisle are really quite spectacular. But we will continue to stand up to defend freedom of speech, stand against hatred and discrimination, and do it while supporting Canadians to both get through this pandemic and come roaring back on the other side. That is our focus, Mr. Speaker. The Conservatives can continue to focus on me. We'll continue to focus on Canadians.
Yeah, you're just haters. Focus on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am rubber, you are glue. Hold on. I am rubber, you are glue, hey, me bananas. This guy is so racist and such a piece of shit. All right, okay.
Yeah, there's really no more to say.
I'm so ashamed of my dual citizenship. I'm so ashamed of Canada.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I would like to like about Canada, and this guy makes it so hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You notice he didn't refute the argument.
No, and let me be clear. Freedom of speech does not exist in Canada. It doesn't exist in the UK. You have people who were actually jailed for doing a cover of Kung Fu fighting at a karaoke bar. And we've gone through all of these stories before. Yeah. All the sources are available at louderwithcarter.com. The point that's important here is the language in this proposed bill. I'm going to read it for you directly. It's actually based on a Supreme Court case in Canada that precedent matters.
Yeah.
That declared a pastor speaking out against same-sex marriage as hate speech. So that's the grounds, right? That's the basis for this ruling. They're going to apply it online. What do you think happens when your American tweet is in Canada? These are the complications that occur, and we'll get to them in a second internationally. So the court ruled, this is the actual language, truthful statements can be presented in a manner that would meet the definition of hate speech. Let me read that again. Truthful statements can be presented in a manner that would meet the definition of hate speech.
It's insane.
And not all truthful statements must be free from restriction.
What?
That's just saying that you're not allowed to tell the truth.
If you tell it,
if it offends people,
exactly. If you tell it in a way that we don't like, well, no. It's not if it offends people. Generally, it's not like they take a poll on what hate speech is. It's if this panel, this tribunal that we've set up, says that it's hate speech because they don't like your truth. They don't like the idea that you're saying is true.
Yeah, because the queen of shoe polish might not like it.
Yeah. This is what we talk. Same thing when we talk about YouTube with the guidelines. By the way, best thing you can do is comment. If you guys knew about this in Canada, okay, if you guys actually knew what's going on there, and you understand when people say, "Oh, First Amendment doesn't apply online," no. Governments have regulatory control of what happens online, and they've given freedoms. Again, Section 230, public utilities versus publisher. For example, Sprint, Verizon, AT&T cannot tell you what you can or cannot say on their phone lines. Doesn't matter if you're wearing a white hood. That's an infringement of your rights. And Facebook, Twitter, they are recognized the same way. They are afforded the same legal protections. This is something that I think people don't understand, that the United States is the only place where freedom of speech actually exists. And here's the big problem, too, with big tech and these rules, okay? So let me tell you a story. YouTube, for example, and yes, yesterday's stream is not available on YouTube. It is available at Mug Club and on Rumble if you guys want to make sure that you don't miss anything. YouTube has community guidelines.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they have advertiser-friendly guidelines.
Right.
Okay.
Different list.
Then they have borderline content guidelines.
3 lists now.
Now, here's the thing. We don't know who the advisors are on advertiser guidelines, friendly guidelines. Yeah. I've been an advertiser on YouTube. I've never once been asked. As a matter of fact, I would have said, hey, I don't want to run ads on this content. I would like to run ads on the kind of content that you don't allow.
Indeed.
They deliberately don't tell you who is in charge of borderline.
Yeah.
The only thing that they say is very clear and transparent are community guidelines, and those are not enforced equally. Because when we've run afoul of community guidelines, we actually haven't.
Right.
They've said, well, you said that you praised the officer who shot Mekhi Bryant at that point, and that maybe isn't acceptable. Now, here's the thing. If you want to say, okay, all right, they have their own rules, I don't know. I'm pro-business. I'm not pro-fraud. Now, here's what I would say. When people say, well, where's the line? It's always a sliding scale. Look at Canada, right? It's nuanced. No, it's not. It's pretty simple. The line is, what's legal?
Right.
We have that you can say in the town square, I don't like Jews like Joe Biden. You can call Jews Shylocks like Joe Biden did. It's horrible. Yeah. It's reprehensible.
Just quoting the
I was really mad that Joe Biden was doing that in a public forum.
Yeah.
But he has the right to do it. He wouldn't have the right to say, go attack the Shylocks.
Right.
He repeatedly used the word Shylocks in racist context, okay, just to be clear. And again, we don't even know if the rule will be applied equally here where YouTube gets mad at me and says, oh, we're going to take you down for quoting directly Joe Biden. But the point is, we have laws. People say you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Sure you can. If there's a fire, it's very, very clear what is actually legal and permissible. Crimes are not. Calls to actions that are violent or harm people deliberately are not. Everything else is. Or you lose your protection and your legal status through Section 230. Here's why this matters. YouTube and Facebook and Twitter not only don't actually abide by the laws of our country, they flagrantly disregard them. Let me give you an example. We did a video a long time ago in a single-party consent state. Now, this is what matters, right? Because all journalists, since the beginning of time, have to understand, hey, can we Watergate or, whatever it is, Joe, take your Donald Trump, grabbed by the pussy. Worst scandal of our time. Next to January 6th, right? That was released. Why? Single-party consent state. Maybe not. They don't care. The media doesn't care. But the point is, journalists have to know. Single-party consent means you can record someone without them knowing. You are legally within your rights. It's very important to a democracy and to rooting out corruption. I think there are 11 states that are dual-party consent states, which means you can't do it. We were in a state, single-party consent state, but we still asked the person on camera to say your name, pronounce it, and say, and do you give us permission to use your image in this footage? Yes. YouTube said, they sent us a message after and they said they didn't want to be on there, so we're going to take it down.
Take back? They did take backs?
Yeah.
What?
And I think we had to take it down. At that point, maybe we got it back up and we blurred something, but then they're not allowed to. And they made it clear now in their new community guidelines that anything that shows that it could potentially identify somebody, not doxing, show somebody's face. You hear someone's voice and they don't like it, your content will be removed.
Wow.
That goes against the law. So here, in one side, we have the laws. And by the way, whether you agree with the laws or not, a little bit more went into it, right? Than Susan Wojcicki just running it out of thin air. You have the laws, and you choose to abide by the laws, or you choose to abide by incredibly opaque social media guidelines. Now, let's muddy that with foreign governments telling these social media platforms how they have to censor, and they abide by it. This is something that's often ignored. Let's use Hong Kong as an example. 2019, Chinese authorities, they ordered media to delete any social media posts related to the protests, as well as the phrase, "Let's go Hong Kong." Many companies obliged. The Chinese music platform QQ banned the Les Mis song, "Do You Hear the People Sing?" To be fair, I thought it was just Russell Crowe's version.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
that one's not.
Well, they're also anti-musical.
We all banned that, though.
Yeah, and the Chinese government, of course, used Twitter and Facebook to spread propaganda alleging that the protests were perpetrated by thugs funded by the CIA. And, of course, they also used it to promote the conspiracy theory that COVID started from American soldiers. That's still up, by the way. All sources available at louderwithcarter.com.
Did that sentence say Hong Kong thugs?
Yes.
Just want to make sure I saw that right.
Yes, exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It sounds like a sketch.
Doesn't it? Hong Kong.
So I just want people to understand what's at stake. Where they go, so it's a private company. If you don't like it, go start your own. Really? Can I go start my own with billions of dollars in relief and
got wires
and liability protection under the guise of a lie? And do I have the Canadian government, the Chinese government supporting me if favors exchange hands? This is the issue here. Right now, you see these laws in Canada, you see these laws in the UK, they are designed to censor content online. Remember Jordan Peterson said, look, I'm not going to abide by this. It was a pronoun law. And he said, someone in my class, I'll be respectful to them.
Of course.
But I will not commit to abiding by language laws. I won't do that because it's a slippery slope. Well, now you can't say things that are truthful in Canada online if they offend people. Can we bring that back up? Let me read this quote for you. So people, liberals in the United States, say I'm pro-free speech, but not if someone says something offensive. Let me read you the quote from the Supreme Court of Canada that ruled what this is based on. Okay, it's overlay I. Truthful statements can be presented in a manner that would meet the definition of hate speech, and not all truthful statements must be free from restriction. This is law in Canada.
Wow.
This is what Democrats want as law in the United States.
This is insane.
You have to pick a side. Yeah. Does the government exist to protect the people? Does the government exist to serve the people? And by that I mean protect rights. This is a fundamental worldview. And I'm sorry, guys, I know I keep going off here today, but look.
You should.
This is a fundamentally different worldview between the right and the left. Unalienable rights. What does that mean, Gerald?
You can't take them away. They're given to us by God.
Exactly. It means that no rights are given to you by government or by man. It means you are born with rights, and the government's job is to make sure that no one infringes on your God-given rights, whether it's the government or another citizen. Notice that, by the way. The Constitution, and constitutionalists like myself, you look at it and you say, okay, what is unalienable means I'm born with it. So the law protects you from both a corrupt government or from citizens who might want to hurt you if you exercise your First Amendment right. The Second Amendment right, it protects you from citizens who might want to hurt you or invade your home, or the government. Now, fundamentally different worldview from that. The left says, we'll allow you to say this, but not that. Hey, in Germany, right? Internet is a human right. Oh, so we're just making up rights? We're just declaring rights? It sounds good. People go, oh, I like free internet. Yeah, I bet you Bernie sold that shit to you. But guess what? If someone makes up a right, they can take away a right. Yeah. That's the point. That's unalienable. And when you don't understand it's not left versus right. No, it is. It is because this is a conservative country. We are trying to, in this country anyways, conserve the constitutional ideas of rights that are not granted by some fucking blackface hack like Trudeau. They're your rights. So you need to decide right now, as it relates to social media, as it relates to big tech, as it relates to 230, does the government exist to protect your God-given natural right to freedom of speech, both from themselves, protect you from the government infringing on it, and from someone else, like a corporation? Or does the government serve to grant you rights, in which case they and the big tech platforms are well within their authority to say, you can say this, you can't say that. You can say that about China, you can't protest in Hong Kong. Even though that's true, that's offensive, but you can say a lie. Like you went to the border, Kamala Harris. It's an A or B decision.
Exactly. Well, and you made a good point the other day when we were talking about this. You said in radio and in TV, we know the rules. The FCC has guidelines for what you can and can't say. And everybody knows those rules and you can play by them. They're set in stone. They've been thought through. And if you violate those rules, you understand what's going to happen. With big tech platforms, we have no idea. You just listed off 3 sets of rules that hopefully we're going to read one of these days on air. And they, even in those rules, they have caveats that they can just pretty much do whatever they want because they've done it to us. And so when these guys go out and say, well, no, look, there's no censorship. We're applying the rules equally. Okay, name me one liberal site that you've taken down and in front of Congress they couldn't do it.
Right.
You know these things aren't being equally applied. And how is this not like the mafia bosses? You're like, oh, well, they didn't actually commit the murder, and they didn't actually tell somebody to commit the murder, but you just knew what they wanted to do. Well, when big tech basically goes out there and does the bidding of Democrats and liberals, they do it for a reason, guys. They're shutting down speech, and I'm saying it both ways. I don't want a Republican-controlled social media that kicks off all liberal ideas. I want both. I want to be able to point at your idea and say, that's really stupid.
Just be Mitch McConnell in a Raggedy Ann dress.
It was Parler.
Oh, yeah, but then that was taken down from
immediately.
The apps. And not just people say, go start your own. Oh, okay, we start our own. Oh, we're going to ban it from search and from the App Store. Oh.
It's naive.
So you took it down?
So you took it down? But that's supposed to be a free and open source, by the way, too. You don't just take it down. It's not violating laws.
Well, I think the U.S. exists, though, specifically to protect your God-given right of freedom of speech.
That's exactly why it exists.
Yes.
But you have to understand, when Trudeau said that about the tinfoil hat people on the other side, he said, we will continue to fight for free speech. Okay, Trudeau, do me a favor. Define free speech.
And then he said, and against hate speech and discrimination.
Right, exactly.
And then we know the law says truth, if it's offensive, is not protected speech. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
by the way,
says freedom like a series of half-truths.
Yeah,
that have been appointed by a committee.
I don't think. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I forget. You're from Canada. You don't know what freedom is.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay, I'm sorry. You don't get it. You get to say
Hey,
stuff.
why in America? Why do you have so many guns up there? Fuck. Well, let me tell you exactly why. So we're not you, and so we never become you because you're everything that we hate. You kneeled and kissed the ring. We fought them off.
Twice.
And then we said, we have to make sure, hey, Canada, where are you, bitch? Boom. No look jab in case you guys try and become another colony and take us over. Because you're right there. We're going to make sure we have guns, so Canada, stay in line. That's why we have guns. Why does Japan not have guns? Look at the atrocities committed against their own people.
Yeah.
They created a culture of subservience. I'm not saying it's inferior. I'm saying it's not our culture. We are a culture of renegades and rebels. And you may not like it, but there's every other country that exists for you.
Yeah.
This is the only one that has that. This is the only one that has the First Amendment. Just go. So it's a much more valid argument when conservatives say, if you don't like it, leave, than when a liberal says it, because a conservative can go nowhere. Yeah. A liberal, if you look at their policies, if you look at Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's policies, how they match up, they would be happier if our country was Canada. They would be happier if our country... Well, not Mexico, because their immigration laws are incredibly racist. France, Norway, Denmark, they would be happier if the United States was any other country. The reason that conservatives are so passionate is this is the only place left. Where are we going to go? Going to go to Canada, where Prime Minister Blackface says you can't tell the truth if it offends the wrong person? And just in case you think, oh, the online world, the digital world is separate from the real world, I think people don't understand that they are one and the same, and that's also why you need to be very prudent about what you post online, especially this generation, because you search for a job, it's always going to come up. But to show you that the real world and the online world meet up, just look at the enforcement of Canada. A lot of people think free. Well, tell me if you think this seems free. Canada's draconian COVID laws, some of which were enforced because they were tipped off by social media. Clip F.
If you don't respect the curfews, then just everybody.
Right? And you really think so communism is going to help, eh?
Arresting people for curfew.
Yeah. Keep it calm.
Breaking up a church.
Please get out. Get out of this property immediately.
Not today, Satan!
Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed. Go. So go. Go! And don't come back without a warrant.
Well, I guess I didn't need a warrant because it's Canada. That's them arresting.
Him?
Yep.
Well, he's really got them feet planted.
Oh, that's going to scuff up the shoes.
Look at
Yeah, come on. Oh, the nice Cordovan.
Oh, loafers. I like those loafers. Sir, I got you. There we go.
God, thank you.
Arrested.
These are Italian.
Shame on you guys.
Hey, and by the way,
wow.
I think we all agree the Nazi comparison is overused. But if
I think we all agree ham isn't
pretty
bacon.
accurate
yes,
there.
I think. But if you wouldn't consider it if it's not a legitimate comparison to use the Gestapo for government authorities entering a place of worship to shut you down due to arbitrary laws being created in the name of your own health. Hint, by the way, look at what the Nazis said about the Jews. Big part of it were health reasons, right? If that's not a valid comparison to the Gestapo, then you can never use it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you should really never use it anyway, but that is the exact thing they were doing.
Yes.
They went in, they were looking for people, you see.
They were searching for people and
Yeah.
pulled them out and arrested them
Yes.
for worship.
Yeah, don't think Gestapo like right around 1940. Think Gestapo essentially like 1935,
Yeah,
1934.
early.
Yeah.
Like think about how it gets started because you haven't done your
like
history.
when the Beatles were still an Elvis cover band.
Yeah, yeah.
The British
Yes.
invasion hadn't
Think about
happened,
earlier.
but you could see the seedlings.
They were still doing that stuff. And
Say
people were
what you
like,
will about the Nazis. Well dressed, right? Hugo Boss?
Hugo Boss.
Good
Absolutely.
job.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You could see the seedlings, like in 35. They're like, he hasn't killed, he hasn't killed his first Jew, but I know, one day that man will make a fine Gestapo.
As if somebody only liked my paintings.
insane.
One day he will make his father very proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the video of them arresting a kid for skating on ice?
Yeah.
Are you
Out there,
serious?
just on a pond, away from everyone, just skating, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to arrest you." And he's like,
Well,
"What?"
here's the thing.
And rollerblades
Is
and
that all
skates?
that dissimilar when people say that could never happen here? Governor Whitmer wanted to arrest people.
God.
Wanted to arrest people for going out in a boat with a motor. Rowboat's fine. A boat with a motor. And remember, there was a sheriff from Leelanau County, Michigan, who said, look, if people are being ruthlessly unsafe, I'll tell them, but I'm not going to fine them or put them in jail.
Right.
And he was vilified. The only reason she didn't do it is because we do have some constitutional protection. So that has been pushed to its absolute limits.
Well, there was a lady who opened her hair salon in Dallas, Texas that was arrested early on, right about the same time that Nancy Pelosi was going to get her blowout in a private salon in San Francisco. We have footage from that.
Didn't the woman in San Francisco get in a lot of trouble too?
Yeah, because Nancy Pelosi said she was
set up.
Oh, yeah.
I was set up, and I didn't like the hair.
And how long would it take to make that bitch look good?
The vortex. No, I'm
forever.
serious. Somebody was arrested. I mean, and you say this.
The
like,
last
so
thing you'd
Texas
open for.
is a Republican kind of stronghold, right? We've got Governor Abbott here, and in these stupid liberal, stupid liberal cities like Dallas and Houston and San Antonio, you've got people that were arrested for opening their business. That's not that
And
far
by the way, that goes back to the worldview. Where in the Constitution does it say that you have a right to a D-perm? It doesn't. It says that the government doesn't have the right to tell me anything that isn't outlined here.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to say D-perm for the same reason it doesn't need to say First Amendment applies to the printing press.
Exactly.
That's like what you said with Jewish people in the Holocaust. They used health, which is the number one thing you can use to scare the shit out of it. Sorry, pardon my language, but it is upsetting to scare the crap out of people.
I think I dropped an F-bomb when I was mad at Trudeau earlier. And I'm about to do it again because I can see out of the corner of my eye, Fauci is there.
He's there.
But I don't know if we have the 10-second delay, so I'm just going to lose my mind right now. He's got nothing to hold him down. Isn't it ironic that we said he looked like a puppet is an actual puppet?
Yeah, he really is.
Wow. Communist China.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen, still an authoritative source.
An authoritative source.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, hey, hold on a second. Bring him up. He looks tired. You know what I mean? Like he's run out of podlings.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He does look like he was
Sucking the energy
carved by
out.
Jim Henson, doesn't he?
That's like he ran out of podlings. Dark Crystal.
Like you'd fish him out of the junk drawer in Jim Henson's workshop.
Yeah.
I like
the less
it more as
magical
Shang
part
Tsung.
of the
He just
workshop.
steals
And my final thing here, I want you guys, hey, smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Again, we're a live show Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Smash the like button, Hulk. Smash. Oh, that's the Rumble button.
I knew both of them in
That's
in a
fine
row.
too. YouTube, you can smash the like button and comment below. Here's something that I would love to, and I'm not saying that I
Doubling
will
up.
do this. I'm not saying that I will do this.
Okay.
But considering the fact that we have talked about refugees, for example, like we've talked about Syrian refugees when like 90% of them were military-aged men.
Yeah.
Muslim men. Not the Christians who are being murdered, right? And when
Right,
you say
not
refugees, they're leaving because they don't like that country because it sucks, right? A young Muslim man is not being persecuted there for their religious beliefs.
No.
Look at Mexico. We say these people are seeking asylum, refugees. Well, let me just be really clear. It's just not a very good country. And what do I mean by that? There's not a lot of opportunity, poverty, people are starving, but they're not being persecuted for their religious beliefs in Mexico, right? That's what we need to talk about with asylum. That's the term for refugee. I think that conservative Canadians would have a more legitimate claim to asylum, to escape to the United States right now, considering that they can actually be arrested and fined simply for attending their place of worship. So I don't know if there's a lawyer out there, if someone can start a GoFundMe to just bring as many, not illegal migrants, we don't use that term, asylum seekers over from Canada and buy some acreage up there in Michigan. But I would love to see that happen because what are you going to do? Deport them?
Yeah.
Racism much? I don't think that dog will hunt. All right, listen, we have to go to Mug Club here. Well, what is going on right now? They're talking. Oh, Fauci on his work against the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, his
40
brilliant
years
work.
later. Yeah, does that mean attending bathhouses and then telling people that heterosexual couple, 20 million people would die of AIDS before the year, I believe, 1992? If I'm not
Presenting it as
mistaken.
if this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, no.
There's no accountability.
He was wrong then, too.
Yeah, presenting the way he did to the towel boy.
Right.
Hey?
If they were being accurate,
like-
they would say, hey, Fauci,
Enjoy?
talk about how 40 years ago you also got everything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good that you're the go-to every time
Yeah.
there's some horrible virus.
I'll give you the next 5 minutes. I know it'll take some time.
Hey, you seem way off on everything. Want a job?
Yeah.
I'll see you again in 40 years.
Hey, you were totally off on AIDS, which affected a very small percentage of this country, meaning if you were a heterosexual, mostly monogamous couple, you had a statistical 0 chance of getting AIDS.
Right.
Though we told everyone that they did, as though all of their behaviors were the same, that led to the same kind of health or immune outcomes. Hey, how about we do it now, only put you in charge of a virus that can affect everybody?
I like it.
I'll do a better
You know
job.
what? That's true,
I'll take
because
the
my
job.
virology with the bathhouses was a little esoteric. It was a little niche. I would like to have control over a general populace. No one loves anything as much as I love that lens.
It's so beautiful.
And unlike the bathhouses, we can wear masks.
Yeah, we can wear masks so that people, I can.
But we'll have them down here instead of up here.
Yeah, instead of
like the Eyes Wide Shut parties I attended.
Also, maybe down the line, then we can introduce the handcuffs. We'll find a reason. There'll be self-sanitizing handcuffs.
There you go.
I'm an idea man. See, why don't we feed the tuna mayonnaise? Note to self, Cole Starkist. All right, hey, YouTube, thank you, love you. We're going to Mug Club only, but we don't really love you. YouTube, you can piss off.